Okay, lesson 249. Forgiveness ends all suffering and loss. Forgiveness paints a picture of a world where suffering is over, loss becomes impossible, and anger makes no sense. Attack is gone and madness has an end. What suffering is now conceivable? What loss can be sustained? The world becomes a place of joy, abundance, charity, and endless giving. It is now so like to heaven that it quickly is transformed into the light that it reflects. And so the journey which the Son of God began has ended in the light from which he came. Wow. Okay. So I'm very grateful that this lesson totally coincided with my first opportunity that I created for myself to do a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet around some of the challenges I've had. And it's so profound how, because it's about, you pick a neighbor, you pick someone that you're judging, and you go through a process and you use inquiry. And so you're freezing a moment in time. So you're not just picking someone and all the catalog of things and all the history you have with them and making sweeping generalizations and things. You're picking a moment in time. What were you believing? What were the judgments? What did you want from them? What did you want from them? What weren't you getting? What did you wish you were getting? And what about the situation upset you? And so I did a worksheet on a situation that just happened last night, and so illuminating, because what it is doing is it's bringing me back to that same situation and expanding my vision to Christ's vision. It's really, for me, because I learned forgiveness is releasing the interpretation we made. So it's an interpretation that was made in the past, and forgiveness is either in some way going back to that circumstance and like releasing, just letting go of what you thought, or in this case, I used the inquiry process, and it totally blows my mind. And the important thing is I'm willing to go back and have my mind blown. I don't want to be right about it. I don't want to hold on to a fixed view. So that's an essential part of forgiveness, is that you can't hold on to your interpretation and forgive something. So I am so willing because I want what this lesson is describing. The world becomes a place of joy, abundance, charity, and endless giving. And that is so what I always take away when I hear Byron Katie speak. It's just how she always, people come to her with every single different kind of problem, it seems. And she holds them with compassion and patience. And then inevitably, she mentions how the world is such a generous, kind place, and it's only what we're thinking and believing. So my statements I was working with had something to do with, I'm annoyed with my husband, and in fact I got it right away. I'm not annoyed with him. I'm annoyed because I'm believing all of my thoughts, and I'm listening to this radio station of complaining, and that's annoying me. He's not going in my mind and picking the radio station and forcing me to listen to it. He's not. And so I feel really grateful. I'm only maybe a third of the way through the process. And so there's just more and more and more gems to uncover. But I think if I were, setting out the day, if you're setting out to start the day practicing forgiveness ends all suffering, because it says, Father, we would return our minds to you. We've betrayed them, held them in vice, bitterness. Yes. and frightened them with thoughts of violence and death. Now would we rest again in you as you created us. So if you don't judge things, you don't have to forgive them. So that makes an easy day. So that would be plan A. Plan B, if you're judging, being willing to, maybe practice the 4 questions. Like, is it true what I'm thinking and believing? Can I absolutely know? Well, how do I react when I believe that? And who would I be in this moment without the thought? And I always get something like, I'd be grateful, I'd be free, I'd be happy. And I always hear people say that. So who would we be without our judgments is a whole hell of a lot happier. So I bless your practicing today. This is exciting. We're right on the heels of lesson 250, which feels like a marker. And yeah, and you're rocking it. And I'm about to go make some dinner. Okay, happy practicing.